Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one night, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for
That's a beautiful song to start off with, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome. And equally welcome to those out on the live stream. Please, you are with us here very much as if you were sitting in the seats among us. I heard somebody say, when was Joe appropriate? Philly. That's a good start, I thought. I smiled at that. We're a full house and that's wonderful. Thank you for being here. We gather today to mourn the passing of Joe Bugeja. We gather to say our final farewells, and we gather to pay tribute to Joe's life of 81 years, which is a goodly amount of life, but could have been quite a few years more yet. And it's wonderful to see the colourful clothing. Thank you, ladies. Us blokes are in standard grey, beige, dark blue. That's okay too. Phil has said that she doesn't want today to be sombre, rather a celebration of Joe's life, with a smile amid the tears. You see, today is a sad day by its very nature. But the real sadness, I say to you all, is in Joe's passing, not in the wonder of his 81 years. I mean, a fella's already told me that Joe has been a boatie all his life, and this fella's, he's probably only 62 or 3 now, but Joe has been part of this fella's business since he was about 8, he said, so there you go. That's a long, long time, Phil. A lifetime. A lifetime. And you know how people tend to repeat things sometimes? Well, I'd love to hear this repeated several times, because 64, if I get this correct, Phil will correct me, 64 of those 81 years spent with Philly. 58 married and 4 courting. And I think that's just amazing.
I was a child bride.
Hope you guys up, ladies and gentlemen up the back there, Phil's just said she was a child bride. Well, she almost was. It's beautiful. But you'd have every second of all those years back in a heartbeat. And I'm saying too that Joe, I believe Joe would be frustrated today because he'd like to be here among you all. And a bit later down at the Cruiser Club, you're all invited to have a drink with Joe, because I've been told that he enjoyed a wee drink. He was a very likeable bloke. Well, each of you here this morning confirm that. He had a way with people. He could walk into the Hilton and be amongst whoever was in the Hilton, well dressed, all walks of life, but he would fit in. And equally down at the old pub, he could walk in and fit in. Someone else said to me too, because I said, what sort of a fellow was Joe? And then I thought, man's man? And this lady said to me, no, he very much was a man's man, but he was an everyone's man. And those sort of thoughts on a day of tribute, I think they reflect the man, Simon, that your dad is. He was outgoing, he was very sociable, he made lots of friends. Simon said he had the gift of the gab. But he was very easy to be around. He could also be a grumpy old bugger, Simon said. What's that, Phil?
I said ditto to that.
He loved watching fishing shows and docos on telly. A little bit of horse racing later. He was a shin-boners man, North Melbourne Footy Club man. Now, he used to play soccer. Being of Maltese heritage, that's a fair chance, isn't it? And it was playing for Pegasus in Morwell. Yes. So Joe's the goalkeeper. and he's got his beautiful young girlfriend, Chicky Babe, who goes to watch him. Pegasus got flogged because Joe, as goalkeeper, spent the day smiling, smirking and waving to his girlfriend. And I love it. I love the image. He was waving at his girl. I've already said Joe loved enjoying a drink with his mates, and you will too this afternoon, and I hope he's somewhere. I hope he's somewhere. Now, it must be said, and it was said by both Philly and Simon, that Joe was not altogether a saint. In fact, he was a bit of a scallywag and a horse trader. So some of you may have had experiences in that area. And the honesty of today is that the Bugeja family have most certainly lost one of the pillars of your family. And for Philly and Simon and Sasha and Millie and Han, we each of us gathered today offer our love and support to you all. And mind you, it's not often that grandkids have their names tattooed on Pop's arm to show how much he adored them. And that was done, obviously, in his 60s, we thought. So how's that, girls? You got your name tattooed on Pop's arm because he adored you, both. He adored you. Joe suffered through a long illness, we know that, with minimal complaint, mind you. He even played bowls in a wheelchair for a while, so the you bowling club folks know all about that. And he played in a wheelchair simply until he couldn't anymore. He wanted to be part of you all. He tried to go out for dinners and lunches with friends and was home with his beloved Philly till about 6 months ago, before going into care at Opal in Painesville. That became a time to enjoy new friends. See, you know the positiveness of Joe through all of this. Enjoying new friends and enjoying camaraderie at happy hour and meal times. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the man to whom we pay tribute today, as he tried, as ever, to make the best of things. You're going to come up and share your memories? Come on. Yeah. Come on, now.
We could. Okay, all right. First of all, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. Joe would be chuffed to see all you beautiful people, all his friends, his family that he loved. And we really appreciate me and Joe, he's over there watching you all, that you've come along. So I'm going to have a go at this. If I call on my family, I might have to, but anyway, it is quite long. Peter's got a big hook out there. If I go too far, he's going to pull me off. Okay, here goes. Joseph Frank Bugeja was born in Maseda, Malta on the 15th of September 1944 to Robert and Sylvia. Joseph wasn't the only baby born that day, as half an hour later another little Bugeja was born, twin sister Connie. 2 years later Fred arrived, and then a few years later Frank. In 1954 the family migrated to Australia in search of better opportunities and settled in Morwell in the Latrobe Valley where work was plentiful. They bought a tiny housing commission cottage at 35 Hare Street, and over the years Joe's dad built onto it and improved it until it really was a show house. In 1956, brother Martin was born in Morwell Hospital, making their family complete. Joe had a very happy childhood with wonderful parents and siblings, although I think they got up to a bit of mischief from some of the stories he has told me. Joe attended Sacred Heart School and was an altar boy, ringing the bells in the adjoining church. He recalls that important duty was very short-lived, as the parish priest caught Joe and a couple of other boys swinging up and down from the bell ropes. He said it was the only time in his life he got the sack. Joe completed his education at Yulon Technical College, and it was there a careers officer offered him a position of apprentice signwriter in a Morwell firm, which he accepted. He loved painting and art, and his mum had all his artwork framed and hung through the house. She was very proud of his talent. Soccer was another of his passions, and he was a brilliant goalkeeper for the local team Pegasus. This is where we met. I was helping at the soccer canteen and was sweeping the floor with a very large broom. I remember this handsome Mediterranean guy in his soccer strip approaching me. My heart skipped a beat. "That's a big broom for a little girl," he said. Corny, but it worked. That night, by pure chance, we went to his cousin, Tommy Thompson's 21st birthday party. Joe danced first with my friend Norma, then her sister Gwen. I was thinking, what about me? Eventually, he asked me to dance. This is absolutely true. While we were dancing, he said, "You don't know it yet, but you are going to marry me." I was 14 and he was 20. 4 years later, we tied the knot. In the years we were courting, Joe became a loved part of our family and I of his. Our parents became close friends. Joe had a way of winning people over. I recall one Easter when he bought a lovely Easter egg surrounded by chocolates for me. I was rapt. He then went to his car, and my granny, who lived with us, got a box with double Easter eggs and chocolates. Lo and behold, the next thing that came through the door was an enormous basket laden with eggs and chocolates for my mum. He sure knew how to impress. Anyway, it worked, and my parents loved him like a son. On the 23rd of November 1968, Joe and I were married. We bought a caravan and lived in it in the backyard of my parents' home until we could afford a house at Churchill. My brother Eddie and his wife Mary had 2 boys at the time, Alan and Dwayne. Then later David came along. Alan and Dwayne spent so much time with us in those early days, and Joe was really good with them. I remember coming home from shopping one day to find the 3 of them in the laundry, with a large white sheet on the ground and our very furry, gentle Scotch collie dog Kelly lying on it, enjoying getting brushed and groomed. I saw all these little black things on the white sheet. What were they up to? Well, there was limited flea medication for dogs in those days, and they were searching for fleas. "I got another one, Uncle Joe," they cried, as they were proudly squashing them between their fingers. After finishing his signwriting apprenticeship, he left the business and for several years was a signwriter and painter at the SEC, Yulon. This is where he met his long-time mate, Gary Downs. And because of that meeting and friendship, I met my long-time friend, Dot. We hit it off immediately and had so much fun and laughter over the years. We went on holidays together, houseboats, bulls boats, picnics and trips to the snow. We treated their kids, Darren and Carolyn, like our own. Gary and Joe had a special relationship. Joe affectionately called Gary knackers, and Gary called Joe balls. I could tell you lots of funny and heartwarming stories of these two, but it would take ages. Several years after working for the SEC, Joe and I saw the need for another signwriting company in Morwell. So with an old minivan, some ladders and brushes, and a rented space in a warehouse, we started JB Signs. I wrote on our first balance sheet, $300 capital introduced. That's what we started with. Joe worked many, many hours to build the business. Ultimately, we built a factory and employed 4 people. Martin sometimes tagged along with Joe when he was on school holidays, and he has some very funny stories. One day at JB Signs, a phone call came through from a John Blakely, who was the manager of Sunny Crust Bakeries, needing some signwriting done. Little did we know the friendship that was to develop with John, or Kojak as Joe called him, and his beautiful wife Joy. We had a long, happy and fun relationship, and Joy became a very close, dear friend to us. Although we still lived in Morwell, we both had holiday homes at Raymond Island, and we had a ball there. We got to know their family and they ours, and they were an important part of Joe's life. During this time, the light of Joe's life was born. Our son, Simon. When Simon was in my tummy, Joe used to rub it and say, "Morning, Pee-wee, how are you today?" Joe chose his name. "A boy needs a good, strong name," he said. "Simon Paul it is." As Simon grew, the two of them were always on a project. Over the years, they restored a multitude of boats of all different types: yachts, tinnies, runabouts and remote control boats. Also Simon's first car, a Holden Tirana. By the time it was resprayed by Joe and mag wheels and all the accessories, it looked fabulous. In turn, when Simon was a marine technician, he worked with his dad on the motors of many boats we did up. Joe was so very proud of our son and of all his achievements. It's a good job we had a son who ended up a marine technician, as Joe had a passion for the water and boats. His first was a 17-foot yellow Caribbean Crest cutter. Boy, did he love that boat. This was the start of a long obsession with anything that floated. He took it out fishing at every opportunity. We also took Simon out on the water when he was 6 weeks old. Joe strapped a life jacket around his carry cot. It was very sweet. No wonder Simon is a boataholic like his dad. After several years of signwriting and running a business, Joe started to get itchy feet and ended up selling the workshop, and was approached by the owner of the business next door to ours, Ian Donald, who owned a hire company called Dompra Hire. Joe sold our factory and built a couple of others and rented them out, and he went to work at Dompra. Initially spraying and signwriting the equipment, then hire controller, marketing manager, and then worked his way up through numerous roles in the company. He had many happy years at Dompra, and Joe and I became really close friends with Joy and Ian. Simon and their kids became good friends too. We had many happy family times together and are still friends after all this time. While at Dompra, a guy came in for an interview, and Joe was on the interview panel. It was Steve Beggs. Well, Beggsy got the job, and that was the start of a wonderful, long-time friendship with Steve and Julie, which remains just as strong today. Joe was a foundation member of the Morwell Golf Club, and also for a time vice president. He was also a member for quite a few years of Morwell Rotary, one of the youngest to be inducted. In this time in Joe's life, our son Simon started to have an interest in girls. One night, a group of young ones came home to our house after being out somewhere and sat around talking. There was one girl that really stood out. She was tall and slim with beautiful shoulder-length hair and was very polite and gentle. After they had gone, Joe and I both said, "That's the one we want, the one with the long hair." And guess what? We got her. Sasha has been and still is an amazing daughter-in-law, and we're so blessed to have her. She's a wonderful wife to our son. Joe thought the world of her and bragged about her talents. Through Sash, we were privileged to meet her parents, Rob and Sandra, and the six of us spent every birthday, every Christmas and every opportunity together. Eventually, Millie was born, and then Hannah came along. So then there were 8. Joe loved his granddaughters so very much. He was proud of them and their achievements and milestones. He enjoyed colouring and artwork with them, and just being with them brought him immense joy. We've had several boats over the years, and because of this interest, we met our friends Peter and Betty on the Wash Bay at Tambo Boat Storage, where we kept our boat. Joe and Pete hit it off the first time they met. Boy, did we have fun, moored near the cliffs on the Tambo River or at the Barrier or Back Beach. Lots of food, laughter, and of course, Betty and I had lots of brandies. Peter has been a tower of strength to us both during Joe's illness. I don't know what we would have done without you, Pete. In the year 2000, we moved to our holiday house at Raymond Island and eventually moved to Painesville. This is when Joe took up golf again and played every Thursday and Saturday with my cousin's husband Peter. We opened Riviera Creations picture framing on the Esplanade and had many happy years there. Joe, being artistic, was a brilliant picture framer. He also judged the local Apex art shows on many occasions. During this time we made more lovely friends. June and Andrew McKee were over from Scotland building a house ready to shift here. They bought a boat we had advertised in our shop window, paid us the money, quite a bit of money, no transfer papers, and the next day returned to Scotland for 6 months and left the boat with us. We looked after the boat until their return. How trusting was that? Joe said these people are genuine and they sought the same of us. Sometime later we met John and Sandra Woodhouse through the shop. Joe framed many canvases and prints for their holiday home, and some are still hanging on the walls of their new home today, and they have been his and my friends for a long time. Joe wanted to retire, so after about 12 years we sold our business and Joe took up bowls. He loved his bowls club and all the wonderful members. He played regularly in comps and also pennant. He introduced Paul Sampson into our bowls club after meeting him through Marie's and my friendship. Paul and Joe just hit it off from the beginning, which was good, as Marie and I are special buddies. Paul and Marie regularly visited Joe in his illness, especially for happy hour, which was a wonderful support, and he loved to see them. When Joe couldn't bowl anymore, he took up building model boats and spent many happy hours gluing and sanding in our spare room, making a big mess, but anyway. Over the last part of Joe's life, his health deteriorated and reluctantly he had to go into care at Opal Painesville Gardens. Joe made some wonderful friends there, both residents and staff alike, as I did, and happy hour was a highlight of his day. Two friends I have to acknowledge are Marg and Richard Hutton. We had the noisiest dining table in the facility and along with Mark always had laughs and fun. They have been a tremendous support to Joe and also to me in their quiet way. Thank you to Faye and John for your last visit to Joe. He knew you were there, and to all who visited in that last week when he was so ill. To all the tremendous staff at Painesville Gardens, they were just terrific. They've just been brilliant, and to Doctors Fernando and Daniel for their empathy and care. Simon was a tower of strength to his dad and to me in the last week of his dad's illness, and Sasha comforted me so many times over the phone. Martin and Glennis sat with us and were there for us both as always. Joe and Marty were always close. Sadly, Joe's journey in this world is over and he is now at peace. On a personal note, I have to thank all my beautiful friends for the ongoing support over what seems like an eternity. You all know who you are. The coffee mornings, the phone calls, texts and encouragement, I will never forget. Thank you, my dear sisters. I love you all. Now I know Joe is up there with Sasha's dad, Rob, having a wine, probably a savvy, and he wants us to do the same. So please join us at the Painesville Cruiser Club for food and refreshments, or Joe and Rob will beat you to it. Thank you.
I knew you'd do it perfectly. It was 13 and a half minutes, but that's okay. I don't know how long it was. We said the other day that 64 years deserves some time spent on recalling memories. So it wasn't ever going to be any less than that, was it? As mentioned earlier, Philly mentioned Joe's boating passion, part of his life. We found this poem, and some of you might know it. I wanted to do, well, under normal circumstances I would have done this earlier, but Philly said, no, I'll be crying, can I go first? So this is for Joe, Philly. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky. And all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by, and the wheels kick and the wind's song and the white sails shaking and a grey mist on the sea's face and a grey dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day and the white clouds flying and the flung spray and the blown spume and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream when my long trek is over. I think that's a beauty. Time to sit back and watch a photo presentation of this man's life and his family. Thanks, Cal.
I found a love for me. Well, darling, just dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. Just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Oh, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. My
Come stop your crying, it will be alright. Just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry. 'Cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always. Why can't they understand the way we feel? They just don't trust what they can't explain. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. And you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Don't listen to them, 'cause what do they know? We need each other to have to hold. They'll see in time. I know. When destiny calls you, you must be strong. I may not be with you, but you got to hold on. They'll see in time. I know. We'll show them together, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Believe me, you'll be in my heart. I'll be there from this day on, now and forevermore. Ooh, you'll be in my heart. You'll be here in my heart. They say I'll be with you, be here in my heart. I'll be there always. Always. I'll be with you. But I'll be there for you always. Always and always. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. I'll be there always.
Just some amazing memories. And you say to yourself, crikey, where have all those years gone? Well, there's part of them. There's part of them. Now, for the third time I rise, ladies and gentlemen, and say, when our tribute to Joe is at an end, please, please, if you're able to, head down to the Cruiser Club and have a drink with the man, hey? Lots more memories. I heard Paul Sampson's name mentioned, Philly, and Marie. They're not here, are they? They're in Queensland. and they might be out there in the universe. Paul and Marie have written a letter, and I do this with pride for you. Marie and I have had the privilege of knowing Joe for about 12 years, which is not a particularly long time for people of our age, but we did a lot together, and he had a lasting effect on us. He introduced me to bowls. In fact, I used his old bowls for many years. We had many fun years playing together here in Paynesville and in many tournaments. You would have to say that Joe had a cheeky nature, but so likeable. He was incredibly talented artistically, and I saw that would have been Joe's sign writing on the Sunkiss. Yeah. I remember watching him as he focused on something creative he was doing, taking such care with every detail. Also in his hobbies, including airbrushing and building model ships, which I think there's a fair old flotilla in the Bugeja household. Following his signwriting career, he showed a great degree of business acumen in his work at Dompra and also working for himself. Joe had one great thing going for him, and that was a wonderful, caring family. Philly has been extraordinary, to say the least. Simon's nodding his head strongly. Particularly over the last few years. You couldn't have done any more for Joe, Philly. You really couldn't. And he was blessed to have you. We'll all miss you greatly, Joe. Rest in peace. Thank you, Paul and Marie. And I know that you wish you could have been here, but you are here in spirit, promise. And I sign off Paolo and Marie, because that's what Joe called him. Paolo. Paolu. Paolu. Yeah, that's right, Paolo. Paolu. Now, Steve, you've been waiting patiently. Come on up and share with us, please.
How do we follow that? 40 years ago, I went for a job interview at Morwell. And there's two blokes there who interviewed me. One sitting down there, Ian, the other fella's over there. And that job interview changed our life. And I've been forever grateful for it. I worked for Joe directly under him for 10 years. And he taught me lots and lots. So did Ian. Business world, sales, marketing, management, just wonderful. We ended up very, very good mates, very close. So did our family. Our wives, our kids. And we had a great 10 years together. And we worked very, very well together. And those days were important to me. And still are. And after 40 years, here we are, still mates. And Ian's staying at my house right now. After 40 years, he was the boss. And Joy, those friendships are important. Joe was really good with what he did, and one of his great achievements with Dompra Hire was securing the sponsorship of the Phillip Island Motorbike Grand Prix. You remember that, Ian? Boy, he worked hard on that, and it was a big deal. You know, it was a real big deal. But Joe did it, and he was damn good at it. And Joe, just by his nature, earned respect, and respect is important for people. And it's something that I believe is just so important that it's that you know, you've really got to understand what it means. That Joe was just a really good bloke, and I know he loved his work. He loved a beer. He loved to smoke, he loved his footy, he loved his boats, but most of all he loved his family. And that tells you tonight. Good on you, Phil. And reiterate what's been said about you and what you've done for Joe in the last many, many years. We all love you to bits. Joe's responsible for a group of us together, and it was mentioned earlier with Andrew and June when they bought his boat. Then Woody's come in for the picture framing shop. I was there 40 years ago, of course. And then through Phil come in Marie and Paul. And then we've got John and Faye, and so there's 10 of us. 5 couples to get together. And we're still together, but now there'll be 9. But we'll always have get a spare chair for Joe. So for Marie and Paul that are listening to this, I promise you, Marie, I'll give Joe a big hug on your behalf. Thanks very much. That's all I can do now. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, thank you. Sasa, it's your turn. Please come up and share with us.
It's an absolute honour to deliver the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
It is not easy. Thank you, Sash. It's time to say farewell to this fella. And when you've got memories such as Steve and most of you here, he remains out of touch, out of sight for the 10th person, but he'll still be there, don't you worry about that. As I've been listening and sharing with you today, this little, it's only a short one because we've been here a while and the Cruiser Club awaits, but I felt a need to share this with you. And this is our farewell to this man, Joe Bugeja. That man is a success who has lived well, laughed often and loved much. Who has gained the respect of intelligent men and women and the love of children. Who has filled his niche, accomplished his task, who leaves the world better than he found it. Who had never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it. Who looked for the best in others and gave the best he had. Joe Bugeja. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our committal, our time to say goodbye. Let us now commit Joe's body for cremation, and in doing so we acknowledge that we come into this world with nothing and we depart with nothing. However, the wonder of our time on this earth is that we leave behind warm, enduring memories to mark our years and to sustain those left behind. For those of you who, like Joe, may memories be your comfort. For those of you who loved him, may you hold a sacred place in your hearts and the knowing smile on your lips. Rest peacefully, Joe. And ladies and gentlemen at the Paynesville Bowling Club, if you'd like to assemble, please, for the guard of honour. Our Bairnsdale Golf. And bowls. Right. What did I say, Paynesville? Yeah. Bairnsdale Golf. And as people are assembling, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to listen to our final song for the day, which is Joe's absolute favourite. Phil Collins, he also loved as well. That's why we had two of Phil's songs during our photos. But it's a Johnny Mathis song. And before I announce it, thank you all so much for being here this morning to honour Joe and Philly and Simon and Sasha and Han and Millie and all the Bugeja family. It's Play Misty for me, Johnny Mathis. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Cal.
Please follow us out of the chapel, also the side doors.
see you, my love. He'll be down the cruiser club already, you know that. He will be.